Hi everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for joining my channel. I think I've got 900 and something, maybe it's 890 subscribers at the moment. I'm not quite sure, but I just want to say thank you, and also that I'm growing it. I want to set up a kind of a talk channel, so sort of live talk channel, to see how it goes, to talk about aspects of life here in New Zealand. I live in New Zealand, and as you can see if you've joined my channel, that most of the content is focused around basically my favourite comedy. So most of it's really my comedy, but I'm going to be continuing to do that because there's some really interesting, I think really interesting educational work that can be done comparing comedy from the era, 60s, 70s and 80s, mainly 60s and 70s for me. I think it's so much funnier, with what we have today, which is comedy today. And so I'm really interested in that, and I have a feeling that more and more people will start finding some of our beautiful 60s, 70s English comedy, British comedy. I think they'll start loving it because it is really, really funny and really naughty. And, it's so nice to have, it's so refreshing. As you can tell, I love people like Alf Garnett and, I love Mrs. Slocum and the boys from It Ain't Half Hot Mum. Some of the lines are so funny. Particularly what was a time where there was kind of some kind of, I don't know what you'd call it. I suppose now they'd say I was ignorant. So, for example, a lot of the racial, ethnic jokes are actually really, really funny. And I think the feeling I have, even though things have changed, the feeling I have was that the racial and ethnic jokes weren't presented because as a way of putting people down, but more as a way of sort of laughing at stereotypes and sort of cliches. And of course, most of them were taking the mickey out of themselves and out of their own, for example, ignorance, whilst having fun with other races. And it wasn't just race. There was all kinds of stuff. There was gay jokes. There were all kinds of. It was just lovely sense of humour, and so I really want to sort of discuss that. But I'll also be looking at aspects of life in New Zealand, as I said. So some of it. Well, I really want to start getting into some controversies, because it seems to me that our news media and even our alternative news media in New Zealand is very careful about that, and I don't want to be careful. I just want to engage with people in an honest way, and I want to be able to speak the truth and also be challenged on what I think the truth is. And I also want to be challenged on what I believe. I think that's going to be so important for our future, is to allow people to test ideas and to challenge each other, irrespective of what you believe, and irrespective of things like prejudices that you might have. I have some prejudices, and I know that they've sort of developed since I was a very little and a very young boy, and it's as I've grown, I've started thinking about them more. But to say that some of them aren't still with me would be wrong, because they kind of are, even though I'm an accepting and open-minded guy, and but I have different ideas about how things can work or will work. If we're not going to be engaging with other people, say if we're pissed off at a particular issue, like in New Zealand, like everywhere else in the world, immigration is a big topic. And people are starting to show their frustration. And there's aspects of quite nasty behaviour starting to come out in New Zealand. And of course, we've always fancied ourselves as being friendly and egalitarian and open. But even here in little old New Zealand now, we're starting to see the similar pressures that are happening everywhere else. Often immigrants are the targets of this behaviour or these thoughts and ideas. And I kind of want to understand why, rather than just accuse people, of being bad or racist or anything. But at the same time, I also want to stand up for people and defend people who, through no fault of their own, have sort of ended up here. I mean, not everyone's in that situation, but there are some people who are a real big issue for New Zealand, which is something I'm going to discuss, is the issue around Māori sovereignty, the Treaty of Waitangi, and so Māori meaning the sort of native people of New Zealand, which is about 20% of the population now. So anyone around the world that's watching this, you'll have your own Indigenous populations, and ours are Māori. I'm part Māori. Most people just say Maori or Māori or Māori or Māori, however you pronounce it is fine. It's Maori. So my mum's history and heritage is Māori. My dad's history and heritage is English, Irish and Scottish, just like many Kiwis. I'm very close to my Māori side, mainly because I was brought up by my mum and my whānau, my family. But there's a whole lot of tension in New Zealand now, and I'm also going to be discussing that and how I see it. And also I'm going to try and get involved try and engage other people to come and talk about that. People who aren't experts, just ordinary people. Because I think through sort of this, I don't know what you call it, everyday approach to engaging ordinary everyday people is how we'll find understanding. Even if we disagree with each other, at least we'll understand more. I'm not sure what it's like in your country, but in New Zealand it's very hard to know what's going on half the time because of the way everything is so politicised. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you again, people who have joined my channel, and I hope you stay when I start doing some serious stuff. I'm going to throw in some fun stuff too, although apparently I've got to find my own niche. I'm not sure what that is, but any advice would be much appreciated. See you soon.